Well, the strategic Strait of Hormuz, one of the world's most critical energy lifelines, is at the center of a growing geopolitical storm. Even as global powers scramble to secure the vital sea route, Indian-flagged vessels carrying crucial energy supplies have begun navigating the volatile corridor. An LPG carrier has already reached Mundra Port in Gujarat, while more shipments are on their way. Here's the report.
Amid heightened global attention on critical maritime trade routes, India-flagged vessels continue to navigate the strategic Strait of Hormuz. Indian-flagged vessels carrying liquefied petroleum gas are on their way to India after being allowed to leave the Strait of Hormuz. The LPG carrier Shivalik reached Gujarat's Mundra Port after crossing the Strait of Hormuz on Monday, while another vessel, Nanda Devi LPG carrier, is expected to arrive on Tuesday.
22 Indian flagged vessels with 611 Indian seafarers remain in the west of the Strait of Hormuz in Persian Gulf, and DG Shipping continues to closely monitor the situation in coordination with ship owners, the recruitment and service licensee, and Indian missions in the region.
The massive tanker Shivalik successfully navigated the volatile waterway carrying more than 40,000 tons of LPG destined for domestic consumption. India-flagged vessel Jagladki, which sailed from the UAE on 14th March, is carrying about 81,000 tons of Murban crude oil and is about to reach India on Tuesday. The Strait of Hormuz, a narrow waterway along Iran's southern coast, is one of the most critical maritime corridors in the world. The strategic passage connects the oil-rich countries of the Persian Gulf with global markets and serves as the main export route for energy supplies from the region. However, escalating tensions between the United States and Iran have severely disrupted maritime activity in the waterway. The ongoing conflict has sharply reduced shipping traffic and raised fears of supply disruptions in the global energy markets, with oil and gas shipments through the strait facing significant uncertainty. To counter disruptions to the global oil and gas supplies, EU foreign ministers are considering expanding their Red Sea naval mission to secure the vital Strait of Hormuz. European Union Foreign Policy Chief spoke to UN Secretary General about the idea to unblock the Strait of Hormuz.
We first have to discuss what the member states are willing to do in the Strait of Hormuz. There is also discussion that there could be element when the big fighting is over. But of course, the needs to open the Strait of Hormuz are there right now. I had talks with Antonio Guterres about whether it was possible to also have the same kind of initiative like we had the Black Sea initiative, how to get the grain from Ukraine out, because the closure of Strait of Hormuz is really dangerous for the oil supplies, energy supplies to Asia.
British Prime Minister Keir Starmer said that the ongoing work to reopen the Strait of Hormuz would not be a NATO mission, but would involve a broad alliance.
We have to reopen the Strait of Hormuz to ensure stability in the market. That is not a simple task. So we're working with all of our allies, including our European partners, to bring together a viable collective plan that can restore freedom of navigation in the region as quickly as possible.
Germany said that they do not see a role for the NATO in addressing the blockade of the Strait of Hormuz.
I don't see that NATO has made any decision in this direction or could assume responsibility for the Strait of Hormuz.
With tensions escalating in the West Asia, US President is now preparing to announce a multinational naval coalition to escort commercial vessels through the Strait of Hormuz. The move comes after warnings and diplomatic appeals failed to stop disruptions to shipping through the narrow waterway. However, Japan, Australia and the UK said that they have no plans to send ships to help secure the Strait of Hormuz. Meanwhile, global oil markets continue to react to the crisis. Prices are rising as uncertainty persists over the effective closure of the Strait of Hormuz. Brent crude oil climbed to around $106 per barrel on Monday, marking its highest level since July 2022. Amid these energy concerns, diplomatic efforts to secure the waterway have intensified. Japanese Defense Minister held discussions with the US Secretary of War, Pete Hegseth, reaffirming Tokyo's stance on the necessity of preserving peace and stability within the Strait of Hormuz. Japan started releasing oil from its reserve to stabilize supply amid the continuing tanker traffic freeze in the Strait of Hormuz. Initially, the government will release 15 days' worth of oil consumption and then continue with another 30 days' worth at the end of the month. Currently, Japan's total emergency petroleum reserves account for 254 days of national demand, composed of national stockpiles, private sector reserves and joint stockpiles with producing nations. Bureau Report, DD India.